but I thought I'd come on anyway. So, it's midnight for me now, and I just got a load of laundry started, and I don't normally do laundry that late. But yeah, I just didn't get a chance to squeeze it in today. And once again, I'm sorry I haven't been making as many videos lately. Things have changed, like even with the way we live stream. So it recommends doing vertical live streams now. So that's different. And I feel like it's harder to look at the camera. The camera's like right there. So, hey Daniel, how are you? Yeah, I haven't live streamed in forever. So the holidays were crazy. I mean, it was good in a lot of ways. Hi, Ellen. I'm doing laundry right now. So I've been very busy and I've been forcing myself to go to exercise classes at my church every day. It is so cool. So we have like a different type every day, and all these women in my church who are like certified in teaching rhythmic, Zumba, something called strength and circuit. I have a friend who teaches something called a boot camp, and they put up the schedule. I went and photoshopped it and changed her class to brush with death. Hey, Luke's, how are you? I just felt like I haven't connected with you guys for a long time, and like I gotta stay up and do my laundry, and yeah, I just wanted to update you guys on everything that's going on. Um, yeah, my friend's boot camp. Oh my gosh, it is crazy. So we're given modifications that we can do with these exercises, but it's like even the modifications are hard. Hello, loves vacuuming. Should that be my nickname for you? Loves vacuuming. Um, so when you get there, you get a partner, and that's just for my friend's boot camp. And so like one of you is doing one exercise while the other one is like going across the gym doing like lunges or side lunges, skipping, just all sorts of stuff. So and then your partner might be up against a wall like doing a squat until you get back, or a plank or something. I can only plank against a wall. Like I can't plank on the floor. It's not happening. So, your partner's like, hurry up. So, oh my gosh, my face was like, I felt like my head was going to explode. My face was beet red. I've been doing okayish with the other classes. Um, so the ones that have like dance, I'll do a couple dances that I have to like stop and drink water, and um, I I don't know. I really like the ones where we have kind of a mix of cardio and strength, because while we're doing the strength stuff, it gives my heart rate some time to to go down. Um, because with the dance ones, it's like nonstop, and so that I'm like sitting and I'm watching people and I'm drinking water. You just had your 36th birthday. You're young. Happy birthday. So, if you go to my Instagram, you'll see some daily photos of me after I do a workout. And it's just been a big struggle because I have something called lymphocytic colitis, and I get nauseated a lot, and other problems that you probably don't want to know about. Um, so sometimes I wake up and I'm like, ugh, I'm starting this dehydrated. And so sometimes I don't get very far, but I'm just focusing on doing my best. Um, a competition with myself, not with other people. But the women there, they're so supportive, and there's some other women, who are as out of shape as I am, and I just decided I'm going to take this hour out of my day is mine to take care of myself. I just spent so much time in a mode where, like, what if there's an emergency? Just after everything I dealt with my mom, and like in a month, it's going to be 2 years since I lost my mom. But I still was just like on edge a lot because I was still like worried about my dad. So I just, was always on standby. And then, Eric was deployed while my mom was on hospice. So it's just been a lot to process. Um, and now we have a situation where, let's see, over a month ago, it was either end of November or December, my husband woke up and both his knees were swollen. So that really sucks. So he went to a doctor who's not a specialist. We're hoping to get him into a specialist soon. And he just said, "Oh, you have arthritis in both your knees." It's not showing it's bone on bone for the x rays, but he's like struggling to walk. It's really, really hard to walk. And he does maintenance for a living. And so when you can hardly stand or walk and you're supposed to climb a ladder, that's a problem. So he has a terrible time sleeping. Of course, I'm doing a lot more in our house. And of course, it's stressful. But he just started physical therapy, and that's given him a little bit of improvement. But got really cold here, and we had a pipe break in the garage. Same pipe broke last year. So now he is pushing himself through the pain to deal with that situation. Apparently, we had a slow leak ever since then because I guess the valve itself was broken. So he has to replace that. And he tried to shut off the water yesterday and it wouldn't turn off all the way. So the water shut off also. Has a problem. It's so hard to watch him in pain. It's so hard, like when he wakes up early in the morning and just struggling to do everything, and he has to like do whatever he can to support our family. So it is rough. I'm gonna say hi to Moataz. How do you say that? Oh, Moataz says, "Hello, I am an Egyptian scammer and I can scam you easily. I got an American accent." Yeah, I'm sure you do. So, let's see. Did I select all messages are visible? Okay. Here we go. Thank you, Ellen. We definitely need prayers. So, his first day of physical therapy, he came back walking better than he had for a long time, but still in a lot of pain. But it's hard when he gets home from doing a physical job and then he has to like work on stuff in the garage. And I'm like, well, maybe someone can come over and help. And he goes, well, they wouldn't know what to do. So I butchered your name. Sorry about that. Moataz, Moataz, Moataz. How's that? What kind of scams do you do? And then yesterday I talked to my son, and he said the night before he hit his head, and at first he was fine, but then he started feeling dizzy or faint during rehearsal, and so then he went to the ER last night, and they said He has a mild concussion and he has to rest for a couple days. So he should be fine, hopefully. But, yeah, one more thing. Luke's your mom got a call from a scammer. I thought this one scammer was going to call me back today. You do real estate scams? How does that work? Tell me more about the real estate scam. So, oh yeah. My aunt had a stroke on Thanksgiving. She's an aunt I haven't seen in many years, but, um, you know, it's still sad. And a couple days later, she passed away. So, there's a lot. Like every time I think, I'm gonna start doing more videos, I'm gonna pick up my channel again. Just a bunch of crap happens. And my son is still on his mission, and um, it's gonna be his first birthday away from home. So trying to figure out how to make that as special as I can. You go for the big fish, send purchase agreements, and they sign it. Is this for rentals or, I don't know, purchases? I don't get how that works though. Also, my name's not Baby. RFP Loves Vacuuming says Miatas can buy my house. The landlord doesn't fix anything. It's a good plan. So, I also have a really awesome concert coming up, and there's some big solos for it. And I've been working on polishing my audition. So I don't think I'll get a solo, but I at least want to put or submit my best that I know I can do. So it's just been so crazy busy. Oh, and then Carmen got COVID again. I think it's like her third time, but she recovered better this time. She had it in September and she missed over a week of school. Like she was so dang sick. And then she immediately caught another cold right after that. Her immune system has just been shot. Moataz says, I won't tell you how it works so you don't warn people. I need money, baby. I live in a third world country. We need your dollars. No, I need my dollars. So I'm not going to buy your real estate. Oh, you're watching in bed? I hope you get back to sleep. I'm not feeling all that tired right now. I was dang tired last night and actually went to bed before 11. I didn't do my dishes. So I made dinner last night, but I couldn't load the dishwasher as I went because my husband said he had the water shut off. But all it did was slow it down because the shut off is broken. So it's a lot of fun. The message is held for review. Uh-oh. You swore, and so it's not going to let your message through. That's shame. No, you're not going to scam us. Sorry. Oh, sorry for the yawn. So our son Eric got out of the army. That is like the best news. And now he's doing an apprenticeship and still living out of state though. So He was visiting for almost a month, and his girlfriend came to visit starting on New Year's Eve. She was here for a week, and our oldest son, he was also home a lot during the break, and he brought his girlfriend over a lot too. So it was great having a lot of people at home to um, not make it feel so lonely with our son Andrew gone. And like, tell me about your guys' holidays. Did you have a good one? So our Thanksgiving was really small. It ended up being my dad and a friend of his, and then just me, my husband, and our girls, because my siblings had other plans. So that was a really tough one for us. It felt more difficult than last year without my mom. Um, what else is going? I actually did talk to a scammer today, but I didn't record it because my phone was charging. But I just keep getting the healthcare scam calls, and Luke says to this supposed scammer in my live stream here, "If you go for the big fish, then why are you here with all of us little people?" It's a good point. I'm not seeing any more comments. Oh. You want me to sing Ave Maria? I'll wake up my family if I do. Oh, Ellen says, I work in a fraud department at a bank. I get so angry when I get calls from people in tears, especially the elderly. That is so horrible. Stop calling me baby, you turd. Okay, Ellen says, I know you're so proud of your son. Yes, I am. All three of my sons. Um, RFP says, the only person I've fallen for so far is my niece, since I'm living under the poverty line. Wait, are you saying your niece ripped you off? Hey, JRR. You listen to me when you're driving? That's cool. Hi, Dillhole. I wasn't expecting to have this many people at this hour. It's fun to catch people sometimes in the other side of the world. That sounds like a fun Thanksgiving, Luke's. Um, yeah, Thanksgiving. You lost $1,000? Yeah, it's amazing what even relatives will do to people. Okay, I'm gonna sing Ave Maria real quiet, okay? Ave Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena, Maria, gratia plena. Ave, Ave Dominum, Dominus tecum. Oh, Ellen ran out of melatonin. No, Ellen! It's hard to sing high and quiet. It's gonna get there. Luke's, I think it is worse when family takes advantage of you. That is just the most disgusting thing ever. I have a friend who her brother came and ransacked her house and took all of her jewelry. And this was after she'd been out of work for a long time, and she's never going to be able to replace the things that are meaningful to her. And she didn't have the heart to press charges against him. I'm like, I totally would have if I had a relative who burglarized me, I would absolutely throw them in jail. Thanks, Rosemary. Thanks so much, JR. Um, yeah, I was working a bunch on an audition for a solo today, and I almost have it. It's a long story, but there've been some technical issues. But I almost have it as polished as I want. So usually people in my choir sing the solos, but they're opening it up to like people outside the choir. So professionals will be auditioning. So my goal is this, that my conductor will go, "Oh, I really enjoyed that. It was really beautiful." And sometimes it's hard to say who was the best because it's really a matter of opinion, and people's voices are just so different. Like I've listened to auditions in my choir and I go, "Wow, that person was beautiful and that person was like equally beautiful but just in such a different way." So whose voice actually fits the part? So I'm not going to get bent out of shape if I don't get it, because I know whoever does get it, it's going to be beautiful. And I love the choir parts too. So the thought of not getting to sing in the choir kind of bums me out. So either way, but it would be fun to have a big part and just have that to focus on. Wow. RFP says, my aunt got away with taking every penny from my grandparents. She got power of attorney and took everything when they were on their deathbed. Oh my gosh, I've heard so many stories like that. Like, that is so disgusting. And I'm so grateful for my siblings. So I have one brother and one sister, and we are a united front when it comes to our parents and taking care of them. I don't know how many people are competing. So there are going to be video auditions. So I have no clue how many people are submitting. Who's Dan Vask? Dillhole says, hit the thumbs up or Rosemary will shave your cat. It's a pretty big threat. Dillhole says, I sing like an amputee. Can't hold a note, can't carry a tune. Wait, what kind of amputee? Vocal cord amputee? So I kind of prefer to do live auditions though, because you just do it and it's over and it's just whatever happens, happens. But when I do video auditions, then I'm like obsessing. I'm like, the way I did that vowel there. No, I have to do it again. Oh, I should have taken a breath there. Um, I decrescendoed too quickly. I got loud too quick. It's like a million things. Oh, it's so annoying. I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to music. So, um, yeah, I was afraid I was going to get COVID from Carmen this week. And so I started recording the audition just in case I wasn't able to produce anything later. There was a time where I was sick during an audition and I was so frustrated. But it seems like COVID's going to skip me again, so really grateful for that. But I was thinking, oh, let's just get it over with again. But I just had it in September too, along with Carmen. But well, I got it before her, and it just felt like a head cold. Like I didn't have a sore throat. I didn't have much of a cough or anything. And then Carmen got very sick, and Jared got very sick. Like Jared was actually late going back to college because he got it. So I realized, oh, okay, I had a mild case of COVID, and um, so it was my second time having it. The first time, it wasn't the sickest I've ever been. It really, it wasn't too terrible. I felt, I don't know, like I remember at one point going, well, I feel just kind of weak. But then once I went down the stairs, I'm like, whoa, my legs hurt. So that was kind of one weird aspect. And then I had two chickens I needed to use that I was like determined to prepare. And it felt like a major workout just doing that. So that was very noticeable. Um, and my throat, like this, the sore throat was the worst part for me with the first time. And it was weird. Like it felt like my cough was like in my throat and not really in my chest, and I felt like my throat must be bleeding or something. So, um, yeah, it was nice to get it the second time and just not have a sore throat. Fine by me. You have spina bifida? So I'm catching up on content on comments here. Yeah, that was my washer. You've never had COVID, Ellen? Lucky. So I'm in a caring for elderly parents support group, and there's countless stories of not just relatives trying to take all the money. And it's always a relative who doesn't do any of the caregiving, right? Um, but also someone will come in and say, "My dad has this young girlfriend," and obviously it's like a gold digger situation. Hi, Tina. How has that affected you, Luke's? I think I've only know one person who had it, and that was when I was in the hospital in seventh grade. I had a roommate who had it, and they were, I don't remember if they were doing surgery for that or something else. But she was in a wheelchair. I think she was 13. And I don't know if they were doing surgery in utero back then, but I just remember learning more later, learning that they could actually do some operations on babies while they're in the womb. That still blows my mind. Like, I don't understand how that's possible. Oh, I'm glad you're messing with scammers, Tina. Yeah, I had a brief interaction with a scammer today. I was busy. I think he said his name was Jason, and I was like, "Oh, I'm like, how old are you?" 22. Are you single? He's like, "Yes." Are you single? I'm like, no, I'm married. Thanks for calling. Bye. I thought maybe he would call back because we didn't actually talk about the healthcare. Hello, Charles in New Zealand. I have family in New Zealand. I would take you all with me to switch over my laundry, but I'd probably drop my phone in the process. Anyway, if you just got here, will you pray for my husband's knees? He has arthritis in both his knees, and the physical therapist is going, "Did your doctor say which kind you have?" No. He's going, "You have to do a blood test to see if it's rheumatoid." And that's what I was thinking. It's like, when is this doctor going to find out what kind it is? And also, he just prescribed him a cream, and it doesn't seem to do anything. And it's like $260 a tube. And he went to get it filled, and they said, "You realize your insurance doesn't cover this, right?" Like, okay. That usually when a pharmacist says that to me, they go, "Do you want us to talk to your doctor and see if there's a substitution that your insurance would pay for?" Right? Unless they just say, get over the counter Asper cream or something. Dillhole's gotten 134 calls in one day from scammers. Wow. Is that on your cell phone? Is it on a business phone? Is it your landline? Well, my husband doesn't feel like the cream even really does much of anything. He feels like it might kind of numb it for a few minutes, and that's it. So it feels kind of pointless. But there's an exercise that he does that kind of releases the trapped fluid around his knee. And so that's helpful. But then there's some other exercises they're having him do, and he goes, "Well, that hurts my hips." And they're like, "Okay, do this exercise to help your hips." So he's not happy about that. I'm trying. Oh, tomorrow my exercise class is rhythmic. And that one's okay, but I can't dance the entire hour. It's an hour. Can you all dance for an hour? Yeah, Tina, yeah, I'm going to push for my husband to get a referral to a specialist because I don't feel like this doctor knows what he's doing. Well, he's actually a nurse practitioner. And I went to him for a while and he ticked me off. I said, "I'm done." I currently don't have a doctor I like. Um, yeah, so when I was still nursing Sabrina, I got shingles. And oh my gosh, it was so painful. And my husband wasn't in town, and she's just clawing at my skin. It was horrible. And she'd never taken a bottle. She would not take a bottle. And this same guy, nurse practitioner, goes, "It's fine. Everything will be okay. Just pump and dump." Because he's telling me not to nurse her while I have shingles because she could get chicken pox. But it took me days to realize I had shingles. So I'm like, well, she's been exposed. Too late now. But then he said I couldn't take the antiviral while I was nursing. Just pump and dump. Like, look, I have shingles and I have to walk around the wee hours of the morning with a frantic baby who is clawing at my very painful skin. So I almost decided not to take the antiviral. And if you don't, you can end up with nerve pain for the rest of your life. But I ended up calling the pharmacist and I said, "Is there an antiviral I can take while I'm nursing?" And they said, "Yes, you can take Valtrex." I'm like, "Great. Will you tell my doctor that?" So if you have issues with a medication and your doctor, go to the pharmacy and ask them for some advice. That's actually one thing I learned from my mom. My mom would go to the pharmacist and ask them because usually the pharmacist knew more about the medications than the doctors did. So, oh, Charles, asking where I'm from. I'm from the Seattle area. And it's suddenly been quite warm here this week. It's gotten into the 60s, which is very strange for January. So, Debbie! Yay! Debbie, I don't remember if I managed to tell you that I can't find your number in my contacts. Like, I could have sworn I programmed it in. So, go message me your number again. Thanks. Are you waking your husband up, Debbie? She wakes her husband up laughing at my videos, and he calls me that woman. Are you watching that woman again? Oh, Rosemary, your grandson's in the army in Washington State. That's cool. Must be at Fort Lewis, probably, or Joint Base Lewis McChord. So the Air Force Base and the Army are right next to each other. And years ago, they combined them into Joint Base Lewis McChord. And yeah, I had my first baby there, and it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. All right. Oh, Debbie's hiding in the bathroom. Okay, I bet if I make you laugh hard enough, though, it'll still wake your husband up. Everyone say something funny that we can tell her. Let's see. I'm trying to think of something funny that happened. There's been plenty of funny things, but now that I'm trying to think of one, I can't. Hi, Linda. What's wrong, Debbie? You don't want me to ruin your marriage? I've been doing a lot of pranking to our missionaries lately. Like ever since our son went on his mission, I just like feel this strong urge to take care of our missionaries who go to church with us. So we have them for dinner, usually 2 times a week. Once in a while, I feed them 3 times. Um, there's lots of food we end up tossing. We just don't eat it all. Like I don't know how to cook for 4 people anymore. Um, and like tonight, I made a pot roast. Well, I'm not gonna make like a tiny pot roast, and my girls don't even like pot roast that much. So I just told them I'll just drop you off some pot roast. But I'm also a turd, and when I bring them cookies, I bring them like 7 cookies because it's an odd number, and then they have to like fight over the last cookie. Like it's like the Olive Garden where they bring you one more breadstick than you have people. So yeah, I've been having fun with that, and like there were 2 of them. I got their favorite recipes from their moms, and then I surprised them with it. So I actually made both their favorite meals like the same night. So one of them was sweet and sour chicken, and it's a really good recipe. Like Sabrina, her birthday's like way off in November, but she's already telling me that's what she wants for her birthday dinner. It's so good. And then the other one, his favorite is mac and cheese, and his mom just gave me more like general guidelines on how to make it. She didn't have like exact recipe. But yeah, he uh, he really liked it, and so I've made those things a couple times for them now. And then we have a new missionary who's gonna have his birthday while he's serving in our area. So I am like way excited now because I'm gonna plan his birthday dinner, and I'm like, and that's gonna be on March 1st. I'm like racking my brain about what to do because we're just getting to know him. Um, but he knows lots of quotes from The Office. He says he's seen the whole show like 7 times. So I thought, do you guys watch The Office? I thought, what if I tried to like make it like the dinner party episode? Um, we could like bring out the iPad and pretend it's a tiny TV. Hey, Rogbot, where did the scammer go? Did someone ban him? Are any of you mods? There was a guy here earlier saying that he had my husband's email and he's gonna scam us. um, see, I'm just getting started in the planning department for this missionary's birthday. Um, and so what's another thing that's cool is his last name is my maiden name, and it's like, well, that's very interesting. And then I realized, all right, so things are like different this year. So, my mom died 2 days after my birthday. So my birthday's February 28th, and 2 days later was March 2nd. But this year there's a leap day, and so this year my mom's death anniversary will be 3 days after my birthday, but it still very much feels like the anniversary is 2 days after my birthday. So I will have like this really fun, wonderful thing to focus on while I'm like having a really hard time with all of these memories and everything. You think the scammer got bored? I hope so. He can't do a real estate scam on us because we can't afford to buy real estate. So, yeah, years ago, there was an elderly couple that I knew growing up. They were murdered by their grandson, and that was devastating. And I was just so upset and angry. And like the only thing that pulled me out of that funk was planning my husband's 40th surprise party. Like finally, I started smiling again and laughing, and I feel like my mom somehow has a hand um, in this missionary coming to our area and just the timing of everything. So this is really this blows my mind. Okay, last year on the 1 year anniversary of my mom's death, my aunt went and stayed at an Airbnb, and she took a photo of the little sign that said what the Wi-Fi password was, and it was Penelope, which is my mom's name, 419. It's like, what? My mom sometimes messed with the 419 scammers. Like she would email them, and of course she knows that I deal with them a lot. I couldn't believe that. But my aunt wasn't aware. My aunt goes, I wonder what the significance is of a 419. Like, well, I'll tell you. My jaw just dropped when she showed me the password. So weird. But like I couldn't stop smiling. Like I thought I'm gonna bawl the entire day. But when my aunt showed that to me, I was like, I bet mom thinks she's real funny. But yeah, my mom was really big on taking care of the missionaries too, like always driving them places, feeding them. Like at one point, she said, here's the key to my house. Just let yourself in if you want to make lunch." Yes, Rosemary, that's true. I feel like now that I've processed things a lot more, um, the second year is just, it's feeling harder in some ways. I don't know. I don't enjoy grief. It's like it's just it's very, I don't know. I don't even have the words to describe it. It's confusing. Like I look back at these memories, I'm like I'm heartbroken but also like really uplifted at the same time. Like I see all the ways that we were blessed, but it's also just devastating. So, the day before my birthday, my mom didn't wake up at all. Like it seemed like she was never going to wake up again. And I went home. Like I was planning on going back later that evening, but I was like I was not doing well. Like I dozed off on the couch for a while, like just briefly. I don't even remember what maybe I was getting some laundry done, but Sabrina came and laid a blanket on me. Like this is one of like the hardest memories for me. She laid a blanket on me cuz she was being sweet, and I was like I wasn't even aware that I was awake, and I just let out this shrill like howling sound. Like I never made a noise like that in my life. But I was like, I was so sleep deprived and devastated. All my kids are watching this and they're like all worried about me. I just felt so terrible about that. Like she's doing such a sweet thing for me, and then it made me cry out, and then I just dozed back off for a bit. And then I ended up having to text my siblings and said, "I'm sorry, I can't come back over." And then I woke up the next morning on my birthday. Well, I kept waking up in the middle of the night too, thinking, should I go back over there? Like, what if she's just about to pass away and I miss it? But I made myself stay home, and my kids still had school, and they got up at 5 in the morning to make me breakfast. Like, I have the best kids ever. Like, for them to get up. Like, and things were hard for them too. It was hard for them, and they got up and made me breakfast to try to, like, salvage my birthday. So, like, this month, it's just so hard in so many ways. Like, even like Valentine's Day was heartbreaking because Sabrina and I stopped by to bring my mom some chocolate, and then we ended up witnessing a really bad episode where my mom was panicking and struggling to breathe. And then she tried to run away from me because she thought I would give her COVID, but she was going to fall. I was like, "Mom, you have to hold on to me." And Sabrina was like, "I've never seen grandma like this before." And then President's Day weekend was when my mom finally had a bad fall, ended up in the hospital, and they said we could get her on home hospice tonight if we had a social worker here, but they didn't. So she ended up having to stay there 3 nights. I had to like argue with the hospital about whether someone should be able to stay there with her or not. Just a lot of crap. Just so much crap just because of like the whole COVID thing. But there was like so much love too. Like my aunts, three of my aunts came and stayed overnight with my mom to keep her safe. And yeah, there's just like so much love in the situation. And I'll just like never forget my aunt saying that it was such an honor to take care of my mom. Like, isn't that amazing? Like, we are really blessed to have a wonderful family. And I know like so many people who don't have the families that they deserve, you know? So, anyway, back to my birthday morning. I, you know, forced myself to stay in bed and eat my breakfast and everything. And my brother texted about 8 in the morning and said she's awake and responsive on my birthday. And yeah, I had been telling my mom while she was, you know, not alert. I said, "It's okay if you go on my birthday. You would be at peace. Like, it's okay if you need to go." But I know that's something she would never agree to. So I kind of felt like she was saving her strength so she could be alert for a while on my birthday. So I raced over there to the house, and she couldn't talk still, but her best friend came over, and then I watched my mom turn her head to receive a kiss from her best friend, on the cheek, and that's like a really sweet memory. Um, but yeah, I was also just a complete wreck at the same time. And by that evening, she went back into being unresponsive again. So it was just sitting around with my family, just waiting and watching and, listening to unpleasant sounds. Um, and then, like, it took me a while to even realize someone got me a cake. Like, I walked by and part of me was like, oh, there's a cake. But it didn't register that it was my cake. That it was my birthday cake. There were even balloons. Like, my sister-in-law went and got those for me. There were even a couple gifts, but I wasn't expecting anything. And then my husband said, "So I'm going to send you to this place called the Lodge, which is it's like a spa hotel place where you can get massages and stuff." I never did go. Like, I was too stressed to go anywhere overnight. Like, I was in this frame of mind where I'm like, no, an emergency will happen if I leave. And then when I finally went to the ocean with my friend 6 months later, we just went during the day. I was like, I think I'm going to sleep well tonight. And then I got home. It's like 10 o'clock at night. And my husband didn't want to ruin my day. So he didn't call me. And my son said, "Mother, your husband is throwing up." And that's rare. Well, it turned out my husband was having a gallbladder attack. So I finally took the day to go relax. And then that happened. So after that, yeah, I could not bring myself to go anywhere overnight. I'm like, this isn't going to be relaxing. I'm just going to be freaking out the whole time about what might happen. So, and I'm like, I'm not going to go spend the money on that. That'll just stress me out. So, um, I'll find other ways to relax. Maybe I don't know. Maybe for my birthday, I'll go get a massage in town. So last year, um, for my birthday, one of my best friends she threw me a big karaoke party, and like she's so amazing. Like she knew it was going to be really hard for me and that I would need something positive to look forward to, and that really did help a lot. Um, yeah, we had a really great time, and like this year, her son's getting married. I've joked. It's like, wow, you're taking this really far. I see how you're having a fake wedding, which is actually my surprise party. Like I joke every year, who's throwing my surprise party this year? Um, but that got me thinking, ooh, what if I threw a surprise party for her? And I got my son to agree to me pretending that he's getting married. So, when I threw a surprise party for my husband many years ago, my mom said, "Ooh, we'll say that it's your aunt's surprise party, and I'll mail you an invitation to her party." Now, my husband had no idea when her birthday was, so we did it sort of close to my husband's birthday. Now that would be a whole other level to do like a fake wedding invitation. I don't know if I could pull it off, but the thing is, if I told my best friend that my son was getting married, she'd say, "Oh, what can I do to help?" And then she'd be like, helping with her own party. But that just, it sounds so hilarious to me. I don't think I could ever top that. But I haven't talked to Jared about it yet, and oh, I was going to, but then um, when I messaged him, he's like, "I had to leave class early because I think I have a concussion." So that was obviously, more important to talk about at the moment. But yeah, if I can get him to do like a fake engagement shoot and all that, that would be so funny. So, the surprise party I did for my husband, his family was coming from Utah and Idaho. So the birthday before that, it was horrible because we were moving off base because he was getting out of the Air Force, and so he had to have the cleaning inspection that day. So he spent it finishing up the cleaning himself because Jared was like 6 months old, and Jared had had it. Like I couldn't get anything done at that point. So we went to my mom's, and then my husband came to the house after that, and I called his mom. I think the next day, I said he just had the lamest birthday. Is there any chance you guys could come out next year? And she goes, "Yeah, I think we could do that." So this was a very exciting week because it was like the night before his birthday party. We went to our first U2 concert. So, oh man, I was so excited. I could hardly stand it. Um, but what sucked was Jared and I had both had like a stomach flu thing, and so luckily I got better just in time. But poor Jared was having such a rough time. Um, but I was like, I don't care if I have to bring a barf bowl to U2. I am going to U2. Nothing's stopping me. But I didn't barf at U2. It was so much fun. So my husband, after the surprise party, was like, "You can really lie to me. I don't know if I like that." But I only use my lying powers for good. So he just had it. He was so convinced it was my aunt's party And I had to like come up with like all the possibilities that could ruin things. So I knew there was a chance he would say, "We can't afford to go to that restaurant." He was also in scouts at the time, and so I had to call the scoutmaster and say, "Okay, if there is a scout thing, I need you to tell him it's canceled. Got it? Wink, wink." Because I didn't want him to say, "Oh, I have to be at this. I can't go to your aunt's party." Um, and, strong possibility he was going to say we couldn't afford to eat there. So I said, "Oh, my uncle is coming into town. He's paying for everyone." And that was believable because my uncle's done that before. And he's like, "Eat anything you want." So my mom was grabbing the camcorder so she could record his reaction, and she was leaving before us, and he thought we would drive down together. He's like, "Where's she going?" I said, "Oh, she has to go to the airport to get my uncle. He's coming straight from a conference." He's like, "Oh, okay." Which is believable because he goes to all sorts of conferences. And so, oh yeah, so his family got to the house and they were all parked like right in front of it, and it would have been really obvious because they have like their Utah and Idaho plates. They're sitting around visiting, and I called them to see, "Hey, you gonna get home on time?" And he said, "Oh, I'm sitting in a parking lot in Seattle." By parking lot, um, by parking lot, he meant probably I-5. So I thought, okay, it'll be a while. I called to check again, and he said, "Oh, I just got into the neighborhood." I'm like, "Okay, see you in a little while." And then I was like, "Run!" To his family. Um, Two of them like moved the cars up the street, and then they all hid in the backyard. And then I was able to go back and tell them, "Okay, you head down to the restaurant. I'm going to stall him." Um, like, "Oh, I got to change Jared's diaper, blah, blah, blah." And then on the way down to the restaurant, I said, "Oh man, I could just see her husband just messing this up and bringing her at the wrong time, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I can see that too." So we're both driving down to what he doesn't know is his surprise party, and we're laughing our heads off at my aunt's then husband, who was a pretty big airhead. And by the time we walked into the restaurant, his parents, or his whole family, almost the whole family, they were sitting at the table with menus in front of their faces. And then as they lowered the menus, his first thought was, "That was really nice of my family to come to Sarah's aunt's surprise party." And he says, "I can never top it. No matter what I do, I can never top it." But, we have different talents. He's really good at things. But being devious and lying for a good cause is mine. Thank you, Ellen. So my best friend says, "It would be really disturbing if you didn't, use your powers for good." Because she says I'm an evil genius. Okay, Ellen, good night. I'm glad it was a treat for you. This is like a very random live stream. This is my first vertical live stream. This feels very weird. It's actually easier to hold the phone this way. And my battery is starting to die, and I need to switch my laundry over. So I guess I'll get going soon too. Yeah, I do have to wake up my girls for school in the morning. But yeah, I'm still alive. I am still talking to scammers. Just haven't done as much recording lately. Oh, and this is kind of funny. So we got these really comfortable electric recliners from a friend's neighbor, so she had to downsize. So now if the phone rings and I need to run to see if it's a scammer, it's really slow getting up and I can't get there before 4 rings. I'm glad you're having some food. Um, Debbie, I hope you didn't laugh too loud. I didn't even cover the other surprise party that I threw for my husband for his 40th, which was just, it was pure evil. It was really bad of me. But another day. I hope you all have a good sleep, or if it's daytime for you, I hope you have a good day. Thanks for visiting with me. Thanks for letting me get all emotional. Um, Happy February. Yeah, this is going to be a hard one, but I'm going to try to fill it with fun. Oh no, you laughed out loud, Debbie. Oh no. Well, your husband's going to be mad. Okay, I will let you guys go. What time is it now? It must be past 1 in the morning now. I'm glad you thought it was fun, Tina. I'm super random. Okay, good night.